Scene footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
You want to put the stuff in my fanny pack, King?
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
Listen to me.
This should show you his character.
In the days leading up to his arrest in New York, exclusive footage obtained by Netflix reveals Sean Diddy Combs' intense discussions with his legal team, strategizing on how to navigate the mounting criminal charges against him. The video shows Diddy meticulously debating his options, weighing every word, and attempting to foresee possible outcomes, highlighting his focus on control and image management even amidst chaos. This segment underscores the complexity of his character, someone who projects confidence and power publicly yet grapples with intense pressure behind the scenes. The footage sets the stage for the broader narrative explored in the 50 Cent-produced documentary, which aims to expose the full scale of his alleged crimes, illustrating not only his personal actions but also the systemic influence of wealth, fame, and privilege in shielding him for years prior to his downfall.
On December 28th, 2022. She says that Christian reportedly arrives on that yacht very intoxicated and then pressures her to take shots of tequila. She says that she did, that Christian allegedly tried to get her to drink more, and she tried to get her to drink more in the yacht's makeshift recording studio. And that's important, and I'll explain why in a second. The complaint reads, at this point, defendant C. Combs violently grabbed plaintiff's arm and began hurting her. He pulled plaintiff to the seat beside him and prevented her from getting up. And she says she claims from there, that Christian allegedly kisses her neck and face as he gropes her legs, her breasts, her private areas. And according to her, she reportedly tells Christian, quote, excuse me, you don't touch my legs like that. I'll move my legs where I want to. If I want to do this, then I will. You don't touch my legs like that. Now, remember where I said this was happening, this recording studio? Well, the alleged assault was reportedly witnessed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones. This is a music producer who had apparently accompanied Combs basically everywhere for a year while they were working on Combs' latest album, Love, Off the Grid. And we remember that Rodney Jones has filed his own separate lawsuit against Sean Combs and others. And he was saying that he was in this recording studio when this was going on, when Christian and Omarky were there. And he might even have some audio that was recorded.
The 50 Cent documentary delves deeply into the events surrounding Diddy's criminal charges, but a particularly striking component is its focus on his son, King Combs. Through candid interviews and behind-the-scenes footage, viewers are shown how King's behavior mirrors patterns of entitlement and recklessness that have long been associated with growing up in extreme privilege. The documentary paints a picture of a young man whose life, cushioned by wealth and notoriety, often seems disconnected from reality, demonstrating how familial influence and social environment can shape one's values, choices, and sense of accountability. By intertwining King's actions with a broader narrative of his father's legal troubles, the film offers a layered perspective on legacy, responsibility, and the ripple effects of celebrity misconduct, showing how private family dynamics intersect with public consequences.
Allegedly found her a short time later and insisted she find him a place to sleep. She directed him to the Yacht Cinema, which was used as an extra sleeping area where he blocked her in, the suit states. Christian Combs allegedly began to touch her and took off his clothes. The suit states that his blank was blank and he grabbed her arms and was trying to force the plaintiff to perform, brains on him.
A central and harrowing portion of the story involves allegations made by Grace Omar, a former yacht stewardess, who claims that Christian Combs coerced her into consuming tequila that she suspected was laced with drugs, then trapped her in a room aboard the yacht. According to her complaint, Christian physically restrained her, touched her without consent, and escalated his aggression as she attempted to escape, creating a terrifying and inescapable environment. This segment portrays the yacht not as a glamorous setting, but as a space where power, wealth, and entitlement facilitated abusive behavior. The account details how a 25-year-old employee, expecting a professional, wholesome environment, was thrust into a situation involving drug use, sexual misconduct, and a lack of oversight, shedding light on the dangers that can occur behind the scenes in elite social circles.
Drinks on that yacht for a 12-hour period. And she was 25 years old at the time. She believed that the trip would be a, quote, wholesome family excursion, but says it, quote, turned into a hedonistic environment, even describing rampant drug use amongst sex workers and celebrities who came on board. She believes that the alcohol on the yacht had been laced with drugs because she says women would have one drink and then almost immediately pass.
Grace Omar's attempts to seek support were met with dismissal by the yacht captain, who allegedly prioritized loyalty to the Combs family over the safety and well-being of employees. The lawsuit also includes photographs showing bruises on her arms, lending credibility to her claims of physical abuse. Notably, both Christian and Sean Combs are named as defendants, with Sean accused of aiding and abetting his son's actions and failing to maintain a safe environment on the yacht. This portion of the story highlights the systemic nature of cover-ups in elite environments, emphasizing how power and wealth can create protective barriers for perpetrators while silencing victims. It underscores the emotional and physical toll on those forced to navigate dangerous situations without recourse, exposing the darker realities behind the Combs family's luxurious lifestyle.
Her and wants her to find him a place to sleep for the night in the yacht. So she takes him to the cinema room of the yacht. And that is when she claims Christian stopped her from leaving, groped her, took off all of his clothes, and tried to force her to perform oral sex on him. Now, she says she was allegedly able to fight him off. Someone walks into the room, and then she was able to leave. And she said when she reported this to the captain, according to her, the captain berates her. And she alleges that the captain may have even been paid off by Sean Combs to keep quiet about what happened. And I will tell you what's really interesting about this complaint. Embedded in the complaint are photographs that purport to be Omarki's arms with bruises on them. And that is really interesting. You don't usually see that in a complaint like this. Now, she's not only suing Christian Combs, like I mentioned before, for all those different causes of action, but she is also suing Sean Combs too. You see, Sean Combs is named as a defendant because she accuses him of aiding and abetting Christian's behavior, as well as having premises liability because he was the leaseholder of the yacht. Premises liability means that you have a duty to keep.
Outside the courthouse, the public and media witnessed scenes of King Combs and other family members celebrating, engaging in push-ups, dancing, and displaying a cavalier attitude despite the serious nature of the charges against Diddy. Commentators describe King as reckless, impulsive, and driven by a desperate need for attention, often prioritizing public perception over personal accountability. This behavior draws sharp criticism for its lack of awareness or empathy, illustrating how the culture of celebrity can distort values and encourage immature, attention-seeking behavior. Observers note that the antics of King and his peers reveal generational patterns of entitlement, demonstrating how upbringing in extreme wealth can foster recklessness and a disconnect from the consequences of one's actions.
The defense, meanwhile, argued the women were willing participants in fulfilling Combs' sexual desires, and that all the encounters we heard about in this trial were consensual. And there you see, after the verdict, Diddy's family celebrating on the streets in New York City, doing push-ups on the sidewalk while others danced. They said a few words exclusively to ABC.
Beyond public antics, he allegedly engaged in actions that could have significant legal repercussions, including mocking witnesses, issuing threats in music lyrics, and celebrating in ways that drew attention from investigators and prosecutors. Commentary stresses that such actions are not harmless displays but can influence ongoing legal proceedings, potentially reopening cases or inviting additional scrutiny. This segment emphasizes the contrast between youthful bravado and the serious consequences of public behavior, highlighting how the combination of privilege, ignorance, and disregard for the law can exacerbate already volatile situations. Observers suggest that King's conduct may have been fueled by a desire to emulate his father's image while simultaneously failing to grasp the gravity of legal and social accountability.
Diddy's turning gray behind bars. Who gives a flying fig about his hair? I don't care. I want this to be about the victims. That's what I want. That's how I perceive it. And I have dealt with so many victims. I've had victims that could never have a romantic relationship with a man after that. That feeling of helplessness You can't fight back. And you just, then after, people may not believe you. If you're lucky enough to have children, it affects how you raise them. You know, like my fiance was murdered shortly before our wedding. You think I don't know where my children are right now? You don't think I'll look at Life 360 50 times a day? When my husband leaves to go out of town, I'm like, well, he could die.
Following his arrest and conviction, Diddy's life transitioned dramatically from one of opulence to confinement at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Brooklyn, a facility notorious for its harsh conditions. Footage captures him working in the prison library, assisting inmates with media resources, religious materials, and self-improvement programs as part of an 18-month rehabilitation initiative. The segment contrasts sharply with his previous lifestyle, portraying a man who once flew private jets and hosted million-dollar parties now navigating the regimented and austere reality of incarceration. Through these activities, Diddy attempts to retain dignity, purpose, and influence, reflecting both his adaptability and the stark limitations imposed by the justice system, while offering insight into the human capacity to adjust under extreme circumstances.
Clown. That's some real clowns. Man, listen to me, man. Let me just tell you something, bro. And this is real talk. He's still going to jail. You happy because he didn't get the RICO and the racketeering. So he gets to keep his money. He gets to keep his inheritance. He gets to keep all the shit that they stole over the years from other people. That's why he happy. Him and Puff wasn't that tight. They used to go at it. People close by would tell that story. Yeah, that's still his father. But you and I both know that extra shit right out there. Come on, man. Outside the court, the judge might give him extra time for this and his antics. Puff not coming home, bro. And you got to realize at 50-something years old, he'll come out to get his Social Security or better. How old is he? Born in 69? We're like 54, 55, something like that. He'll come out and get his Social Security. He had to do 85% of his time. That right there, King Kong or Christian, acting like that in front of the courts, in front of everybody. They be taking these judges back information.
Inside MDC, the environment proved physically and psychologically dangerous. Incidents included violent altercations between inmates, with one fight resulting in a guard being hospitalized, and threats against Diddy himself, including having a knife held to his throat. These moments illustrate the constant threat of violence in prison and the vulnerability of even high-profile inmates. Commentary highlights the psychological strain of such experiences, noting how isolation, fear, and the collapse of public image combine to create extreme stress. The segment underscores the reality that fame, influence, and wealth offer no protection in the prison system, where survival and mental resilience become paramount.
Man, and be who you really are. Because you ain't no gangster. You don't know what a gangster is. You a prankster. You a prankster, son. Stop that. I think when the people heard the mixtape and they called him out on it and they was checking him and they was trying to check him, but they lost, bruh. They don't have no guidance. The dude who's supposed to be doing, I don't know if he's security or whatever like that. Man, what the fuck is you doing out here like this? He gets on the ground and start doing pushes up with him. Bruh, for real? Man, put your shirt on and get your ass back in that damn car. Stop acting like you stupid. Act like you got some sense. That's when they making the dollar make them, bruh. The dollar is making them. What you happy about? You gotta realize They know his daddy's still going to jail. They happy because they feel like the government doesn't have a right to mess with nobody's assets at this time. The verdict on the RICO, non and void.
Despite the dangers and isolation, Diddy actively sought to maintain structure and purpose, organizing Thanksgiving meals for inmates, engaging in rehabilitation programs, and providing guidance in the media library.